Hello, my name is Ivan and you're on the Deep Labs channel. So what changes have we made to the ATV project? First of all, we now have the seat base ready. We printed it on a 3D printer in 2 parts and then covered it with fiberglass. Why did we decide to do it this way? After all, we originally wanted to make it entirely out of fiberglass using a foam polystyrene mold. Well, it's because of issues with machine time and Sasha is moving. Overall, it's all time consuming and complicated. Plus, we're not really specialists in fiberglass ourselves, and the people who do this are also busy. So we decided to do it this way. And we also got a really good high quality 3D printer for our projects. In the previous video, I showed you the drive itself, complete with the splines. Here it is, already made. All 4 are installed. Everything spins and rotates. Everything here works. So what are we going to do with the seat next? This is just a base for us. We will cover it with foam, rubber, and then upholster it with a material like eco leather. It might seem pretty flimsy, but in reality that's not the case, because it's carbon-filled ABS plastic about 3 to 4 millimeters thick, and also about 3 millimeters of fiberglass material, so it's actually quite rigid. It also rests on 3 points on the frame itself, and the ears serve solely for, well, let's say for longitudinal and transverse movement. Here it sits on the bracket and you can easily sit down there, even like this. We also decided to make a protective enclosure for the electronics, which will be compact and placed above the battery. This will also be a sealed box with all the electronics and cable glands. Basically, it's made of aluminum. On top, we carefully install a lid, securely using a large number of M5 bolts. Access will be available by removing the seat. Somewhere around here we have pipes running, so you unscrew all the bolts, remove the lid, and you have full access to the electronics inside the box. Why aren't there any outputs here yet, you might be wondering? Well, it's just a solid box for now, because at this stage we still don't know exactly which controllers we'll be using in the final setup, and accordingly we can't fully plan out or determine how everything will be arranged or connected inside. All the electronics will fit, meaning that's 2 controllers, a charger, a contactor, a battery management system, a 12-volt converter, and possibly some additional components, equipment. Basically everything should fit here as far as aluminum welding goes. But here are the main nuances. The key thing is that you always need to do a proper edge preparation of the edges. Here we're just joining the sheets together. Not just butt jointed like this, but more like this. So here you get a solid 90-degree bevel, and as a result you get a full penetration weld. If you were to take the sheets, if you try to just butt them together and weld them, no matter what current you use, you'll get a weld penetration of 1 or 2 millimeters at most, because it's aluminum. At the bottom we'll have a bracket, and it will also be accordingly attached in place. It's secured with 2 tabs, so to remove the box you first need to take off this bracket. Once the bracket is removed, you can then take out the battery. Additionally, the motors will be removed when you take off this box, as they are connected to the assembly. So first we remove the seat, then the box, and then we can take out the motors like this. So far, everything is working out, everything is going well with this. The ATV is already starting to get loaded, the weight is increasing, and the suspension is starting to work a little. Well, everything is spinning, like the drives and the differentials. Right now the main thing is that we're waiting for the motors, waiting to see which controllers we'll install there. But overall, a lot of work has already been done and something is starting to take shape. Well, the suspension is obviously very stiff right now. All of this will need to be carefully adjusted in the final project once the full weight is added. You can also install any other additional springs here if necessary. There are a lot of adjustments: spring type, pressure, spring tension. Accordingly, there's air adjustment at the bottom and oil adjustment as well. All of this will need to be done on the finished project.